It's an anxiety disorder. It occurs either if you've experienced or have witnessed somebody else having a traumatic event that's usually a very severe traumatic event, that it's a threat to your life or to serious bodily harm.
In Iraq, we talk about the imminent threat of instant death. Pretty much anybody sitting in Iraq, whether you're regularly engaged in combat or if you're maybe a cook, that mortar round could come in at the right angle and could hit you, could hit your friend.
One symptom cluster is this intrusive or re-experiencing cluster. A certain stimuli that reminds them of the event, all of a sudden you'll have a flashback and feel like they're there. The patients maybe have to try to sort of repress the event, so they have amnesia for it or they lack emotion. And another symptom cluster is this hyperarousal, so hypervigilant, anxious, or can't sleep, have an exaggerated startle response, so the littlest noise and they'll just really jump.
I came home, I heard this 2x4 hit the pavement and it sounded just like an M16, and I had this just surge of adrenaline that went through me during this highly stressful environment. You come home and you're still kind of having those stressful reactions to things.
PTSD will affect about 8% of the general population at some point in their lives, but the numbers are much higher among veterans, and studies do not give a clear answer. The Veterans Affairs Department says 6 to 11% of those who served in Afghanistan will experience PTSD, and 12 to 20% of Iraq vets. The Department of Defense estimates 33% require mental health services, and according to a study commissioned at Walter Reed, 49% of vets reported some symptoms of PTSD after their post-deployment health assessment, and 59% reported some of those symptoms within 6 months of returning home. And to make it more complicated, self-reported data is notoriously inaccurate.
You're trained to be strong, a soldier, a warrior. Going to seek some sort of mental health, there is a stigma attached to it of like, well, it shows weakness.
As far as I can tell, the rate is increasing as the war goes on. Tours of duties were extended. People are going back for a second and a third tour of duty.
Even in Vietnam, there were areas that were much more secure than others, whereas in Iraq, even the most secure area can still face that risk.